we are looking at mixtures in material world for stage 3. This is where students explore that when materials are combined, the result is either a mixture or a new substance, for example, salt and water or bicarb soda and vinegar. And today's experiment, we are going to be using bicarbonate soda and vinegar. So the materials you're going to need are 1 tablespoon of bicarb soda, 1 cup of white vinegar, a tablespoon to measure the bicarb soda, a measuring cup to measure the vinegar, an empty plastic bottle, a balloon, a funnel for pouring in the vinegar and bicarb soda, some paper towel for spills, and finally either a phone or an iPad. Some of the safety aspects to be aware of when conducting this experiment is carbon dioxide, which is a gas generated during this experiment, is not classified as hazardous. However, it can be toxic when high concentrations are released into the air. For the bicarb soda, it is not classified as a toxic material. Vinegar is also not classified as a toxic material, but it is important to be aware that vinegar may cause an irritant on the skin. For the paper towel to clean up any leaks, it can be flammable. We also advise to wash hands after the experiment too, just to keep good hygiene and to clean off any bicarb soda or vinegar that may spill on the students. So another thing to note for this experiment is that students can work in pairs or in groups of 3. It's good that they can work to get students to work together so they can work collaboratively, but also they can take it in turns setting up for the experiment and also for the person who's filming the results. So we're going to use the paper towel just to prevent spilling onto any surface areas. So we'll just get the students to lay them down first. So that's the first step to our experiment. Now we're going to grab our bottle, take off the cap, and before we get into the experiment, it's good to practice just putting the balloon quickly over the top of the lid as fast as you can. And just practice this a few times. So quick, put it over the top, good. That's all you need to do. Just practice it so you know when to do it, because it will help us later on in the experiment. So now we are going to measure 1 cup of vinegar, and we're going to grab our funnel, put it in the top, and slowly pour the vinegar in. Now when that's done, we're going to grab our tablespoon of bicarbonate soda, but what we are going to do is just rest it here. So we have time, so we're not putting it in yet. First, we are going to get our balloon ready. Once we drop the bicarb soda in, we're going to quickly put our balloon over the top. So for this part of the experiment, we are going to get the students who aren't actually pouring in the bicarb soda to film the reaction that takes place and what is happening to the balloon on top. So for this digital technology, they are going to use the camera tool, go to the slow motion video, and then here they can film the balloon and the reaction that's taking place to analyze it later in their discussion. Another thing they can use with their digital technology is the stopwatch tool. With this, they can time how quickly it takes for the balloon to fill up with the carbon dioxide. And they can record their time about how long it took the balloon to blow up, and they can compare and discuss with other students. So, ready? Here we go. Now, can we notice what's happening to the balloon? What happened when I put the bicarb soda into the vinegar? So this should be your end result. For the elaborate phase, you can use students' previous knowledge to apply it to new situations. So they're going on their traditional ideas, and they can do this by identifying what different reactions, like what two materials make a new reaction to something else. So allow students to think, pair and share about different materials that can cause a new reaction. So for upper primary school students, it's important to be aware that alternative conceptions can often be made. So the new mixtures you're putting together, such as the bicarbonate of soda and vinegar, can cause a release of carbon dioxide, and it's important to teach the students what carbon dioxide is. There is a lot of evidence that says that simply stating something is, for example, this is carbon dioxide, to students doesn't address alternative conceptions, and it doesn't change their own perspective of what they are. So what is important here is not a teacher lecture, but more of an awareness of the role of language and the concept of development. What is suggested here is you don't teach the students and lecture them about what it is, but simply make them aware of what the new reaction is, so the new wording, which may not be familiar to them. So carbon dioxide. So there is the difference between physical and chemical change, and it's important to make children aware of the differences between them. Physical changes are always reversible, whereas a change in colour indicates a chemical change.